Hello friends, it's Darkman here from Other Miniatures, and today we're gonna be working on this lovely, what is that car? Chevy 67, yeah? So we're gonna be actually making more of a thematic build than a kind of random Gaslands. So I was just thinking, what would be one of the necessary professions in the Gaslands, and I'm thinking that some of the most common profession would be junk collector. So our collector, his name is old, John or something like that. Yeah, and he is driving around in his pickup and picking up stuff around the wasteland. Yeah, so he upgraded his pickup a little bit. He have a armored window, not exactly fitting the size of his pickup, but that's one thing. And then he managed to scavenge a cannon, from somewhere. So this is gonna be one shooter for him. So what we're gonna have to do is cut off the little brackets that originally would keep it in the tank. And I have no clue where I put my clippers. Oh, there they are. So I'm just gonna cut off the little nibbly knobbly knobs. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Sorry, I just have a noise in my ears just going ee, so that's why I said ooh. And we're just gonna mount it on the roof. Yeah, so that's gonna be, because he is transporting a valuable loot, valuable pieces, he's gonna be carrying some heavy duty armaments. And I know that I put this upside down, but who really cares at this point? Yeah, it is just nice looking detail and I want it. So there we go. Yeah, we have a weapon, we have a little bit of an armor. Then, the other thing, quite often Raider's gonna be chasing this guy, so he probably need to armor his back wheels. Yeah, so I have those half wheels that I cut off when I got the big hole punches ages ago, and I completely forgot about them. So when I was looking through my scrap pieces, I was just like, oh, that's so cool, I never used it. Why not use it on this build? Yeah. So I have one in here covering the back wheel. Yeah. And we have another one which is just a flat plastic, and we're gonna just pop it in here, but I think that is a little bit too long. Yeah, so I'm gonna just cut it maybe like that. Yeah, just to make it shorter. Yeah, and it's gonna be covering the second wheel. So yeah, today I'm chatting, I'm not making just a montage, because yeah, I'm fancy this way. I like to switch stuff around, and you keep you all on your toes, or whatever else I can keep you on. All right. Now that's horrible. It's gonna have all of my fingerprints. So in the future, if I commit some heinous crime, you know where to look for me. And I think that I used this joke many times already and start growing a long beard. But it's neither here nor there. So now, a piece of scrap, a spare wheel. Yeah, and it's gonna be just laying in here in the back. So we're just gonna toss it in here. Like, the only thing about this this build is it is quite low, so things like wheels kind of stick out like a sore thumb, whatever. Yeah, but it's okay, it's all right. Yeah, so we have this in here. It's gonna glue itself eventually to the car. Yeah, then I was just like looking at other little pieces that I have, and I have this bit in here. I don't remember what I prepared it for, but I can throw it in here. It's just gonna be like a bit of scrap that he found. So that's another piece that we're just gonna toss in there. Then we have this bit, and again, just cut it to like smaller size. Yeah, and we can just toss it onto the car. But I'm thinking that I'm gonna put a fuel can in here, the small one. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. Just toss it in there. No sanding, no special treatment, just put it on top. Yeah, it's just another piece of not really junk, because that would be his extra fuel for the road. Yeah, and I have of course like little pipes, so I want to just cut a couple of pieces of those pipes and toss them in. And they don't have to be exact, they don't have to be cut nicely, because at the end of the day it is a junk that he collected and he's looking to trade it, you know, with someone. So I think that that's good enough, you know, for a pile of pipes. Yeah, so we can just start adding them in here. And I think that that's gonna be perfect. Yeah, just a couple of pieces of pipe. Of course, you know, I should probably do some sort of a strap to keep it strapped to the car, but obviously, you know, laziness probably gonna win, and I don't gonna do stuff like that. But you see the idea, you know, it's not just another, you know, a racer without proper meaning in the entire universe, Gasland universe. He is actually doing a job to survive, other than just, you know, trying to win the ticket to Mars. Yeah, so he's carrying a lot of different scrap pieces. And you know, like I said, he's been attacked by many raiders in the past, so armoring his car would be a smart decision. So I'm gonna be using all of the scraps that I can find from, you know, my scrap boxes, and just putting them on the car, because this has been in my scrap box again for a while. Yeah, like I just found it and I'm like, oh, why I never used it? So let's just toss it on. And the fact that it is bigger than the window, it actually works to the advantage, because we are looking at a piece that he literally just bolted on. Yeah, and this one is a little bit bigger than the rest of them, so let's just cut a piece of it, maybe this much. Oh, okay, that actually went through, and we can toss it in here, you know, another big chunky piece of pipe. Yeah, the other Wastelanders, you know, if they are looking for scrap, they always know where to find, you know, old John. Yeah, well, or, you know, where he is coming to, and, you know, they come to buy his scrap, because he have good scrap, clean scrap, dirty scrap, all kind of scrap. Yeah, I know, I just kind of, you know, go into the more of a oh, lovely, more of a thematic build today. So yeah, stay with me, you know, I didn't lost my mind, I just kind of lost it. Yeah, and that was probably a couple of years ago. So if you found it, you know, I wouldn't actually you know, admit that I lost it. I would just say that I gave it away. Yeah, so there we go. And this is from that those pieces that I have in here. They are actually like from a different version of M41, and I probably showed that tank so many times that you are sick and tired of it. And I'm not talking only about this video, I'm talking about all videos. So this looks like some sort of armor plating, you know, that he welded into the doors. And those doors would be still quite functional, just, you know, by how this is all built. I was thinking about putting bigger engine, but this already seems to have a big engine. So what's the point of adding an engine on top of an engine? And then I have this fender from the tank. Again, I think that would be something, you know, that he would actually pick up. Yeah. So I'm gonna throw it on top of that pile. Just, you know, just toss it in here, like, you know, whenever you watch the, what do you call it, the dumpster diving videos, they just pick up any kind of junk, don't even strap it to the car, just toss it on top, and everything somehow is still in the car when they arrive at the right spot. So I think that that's how gravity works. And what else do we have? Like, I have other plates from the tank, you know, like this kind of plate and that kind of plate, and I have another fender in here, but I don't think that this is gonna fit anymore. But I have this L-shape pieces, and I think that I can just cut like maybe a couple of them, just to add to the pile of scrap. Yeah, and just just pile it up, pile it all up, so we know that old John is doing his job. Yeah, and getting as much scrap for the Wastelanders as he can, because that's what he is good at. Yeah, and obviously when you have the same exact shape, you try to fan it a little bit, so it's gonna be more random, and that looks random enough, I would say. Like, there is still this gap that I want to fill up with something, because it's gonna be hunting me, but I can see this part. So I just bought a couple of 3D printed tanks, and I have those brackets that come with them, and I just think that I can throw them in, and they can just work as I don't know what kind of gribbly. Yeah, so let's just do that. Just throw one in here. That's straight away closing this, and I can throw another one over here. Yep, and probably just a third one on top of that, just to add a little bit. And then I from the front window I cut out this strip. I feel that I can just toss it in here. It's gonna be another texture in this entire pile of scrap. Yeah, but this one, like, that's what I'm saying. This one is actually telling a story. Yeah, it is more of a storytelling vehicle than actual combat vehicle for Gaslands. And I enjoy this kind of builds because they are a little bit different. So now it's time to paint him, and I think that I'm gonna have to make a rust bucket out of that, even though the decals on it are freaking awesome. Yeah, of course the Hot Wheels kind of destroy everything, but yeah, other than that, this is pretty much done. So let's just go into painting, and we will see how it's gonna turn out. Okay, so John's car has been primed. Yeah, and I first primed it in black, then I went over with white, because like I said, I want to make it a rust bucket. So first I'm gonna be using molten lava, because it is the darkest orange that I have, and I'm just gonna be placing patches of that color in different places of the body. Yeah, not covering it completely with the same shade of orange, and we'll see how it's gonna turn out. All of that junk in the back, I think that they're gonna just go over as well, just to give it that little bit of the orange in the background. And then we're gonna think if we're gonna be coming back with metallics and stuff like that. Yeah, so I think that this is pretty much enough. And now I just need to clear up the airbrush a little bit. So just wash it all out, and we're gonna take lighter orange to it. Yep. So this is probably the most interesting part of the entire airbrushing, emptying your cup of the remainder of the paint. It's just very exhilarating. Come on, there we go, and that's the end of it. Now I don't gonna be going to a second step, because the next step in here would be a burning ore, but we're gonna skip one step, and we're gonna go straight away to lava orange, which is gonna be my first use of this color. So yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, I love the entire Warpaint Fanatic series. They are just the progression of the paint really helps. So now, it just spewed the paint, but you know where I want it, so I'm not gonna be complaining about that. Alright, and that's this paint pretty much done. Yeah, so just one drop of each. And I'm gonna skip to another step, which is Glowing Inferno. Of course I need to mix it because I forgot. Oh. This one came out of the bottle without me even trying, so there you go. This paint was excited. So that's the bonus of the airbrush. You know, I always love painting with airbrushes, but I always feel like I'm crap at it. Yeah, this actually look more like a desert kind of camo than rust at this point. Yeah, now I'm wondering where is my rust paint. I have this little bottle of a proper rust paint somewhere. And I have no clue where I put it. Okay, I'm gonna be back in a minute. I need to find it. I've been searching for the rust effect for ages and I couldn't find it for the life of me. I found the acrylic ones, but I wanted the enamel one. So yeah, I'm thinking that after I'm done, I can probably just apply those two. Yeah, which is the Vallejo Model Wash for the rust effect, and the second one, which is again oxy-lined rust. You know, so this is like two others that I have. But first of all, what we need to do is finish all of the metallic plates. So let's just give them a little bit of a wiggle with the dry brush. Yeah, just to bring the shine out, because you shine like a diamond, I guess. Yeah, because this is diamond plating. So let's just give it to the weapon as well, because the weapon is a shiny hope for John. Yeah. Listen, this is middle of the night. Yeah, I finished my shift and I decided to just lay down for a minute. And that lay down turned out to be 4.5 hours. And now I'm just like, I'm going to Poland in a couple of days. I need to get this finished. Yeah. And when I say couple of days, I mean literally couple, 2. Yeah. So there is no massive excuse that, you know, like, oh, I forgot, you know, and this is gonna be posted when I'm gonna be in Poland, so 100% has to be finished. Yeah, but I think that those pipes, after the airbrush and everything, and now a little bit of brushing, they just look excellent, in my opinion. Look at that. It is such a good rust effect. Hoo-hoo! I found a new way of doing stuff. Do-da, will I do it again ever? Probably not. Sorry, that was just a silly song. Yes, silly song. I just wonder if I just gonna do a little bit of a dry brush over this. Would that actually, yeah, that's actually help, because it's giving us, you know, scratches of a raw metal. So again, I'm doing the dry brushing right now on the, what do you call it, on the paper towel, which kind of dries out the brush a little bit too much. I have to be honest. Oh, okay. I was quick enough. This is actually not all that bad. I think with this entire thing is kind of bringing the model all together. And I haven't put sorry, I haven't put all that much attention to painting lately, so this is actually enjoyable. So yeah, all right, so we have this kind of done. I'm gonna need to wash this brush. Of course, I don't have water. Oh my goodness, yep, middle of the night, that's what I get for it. Oh, and now we're just gonna go with those two lovely washes. I don't plan to squeeze them on something. I'm just gonna grab this, grab a brush which I can dunk into it, and we're just gonna maybe do a little bit of spotches here and there. They should really help with this entire rustiness. And then we're gonna take a second one. Like I said, I'm not really putting this in like planned locations, because those little acrylic washes, they take ages to dry. So let's just quick swirl. We're just gonna add this one here and there. Hopefully it's not gonna make it kind of splotchy. If yes, I can still come back with a little bit of a dry brush to clean it out. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna leave it like that, and then once it is dry, we're gonna grab a spin table. Old John here is coming back from one of his many adventures in the wasteland, bringing a full load of scrap. He haven't been shot at for a while, so there are no holes in his car, which is surprising to him. But he heard, that his old pal, his current rival, Steven, is around the corner, and that he got his hands on some nice loot. So next week we're gonna be looking at Steven's car, because Steven is another one of the Wasteland scavengers who, used to be a best pal with Old John, but of course, they roads did, split apart, and they chose a different ways of dealing with the business. But yeah, that's it for this video. I am very happy with John's car. It is awesome, and well, I wouldn't say in top 5, but probably in top 20 of my builds. Especially that rust effect, just cherry on top. So if you like this video, you know what to do. Rate, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, family, and whoever is not to watch it. And everyone have a great day and take care. Bye bye.